Yo, dudes and dudettes, it's Dan Mitri, totally the community manager for DICE, here to talk to you about our latest update, which we couldn't even be bothered to do a live stream for ourselves. So instead of stretching out a single screen of patch notes for an hour and a half, we basically asked Westy to elongate his patch video, which was already elongated for YouTube revenue, from 11 minutes to just over an hour. Far out, man. And of course, it wouldn't be a Battlefield live stream without audio and video issues, but anyways, about that new patch, which is called the May update. Wait, what? Even though we're continuing to do monthly updates until June, we abandoned the idea of naming the update after the month we're releasing it in, after the paltry April update? Okay, so this is called the Weapons Crate update, and it's aptly named for the 11 new weapons we're finally releasing for everyone after having them on the CTE way back earlier in the year. And by new weapons, I mean 8 variants of already existing DLC guns that plebs who didn't throw down money on premium to make our empty vessel of the game somewhat full, 2 pallet swaps of melee weapons to hit people in a game with guns, and 1 actual new gun, the Annihilator Trench Tommy gun, which was finished 2 days after the end of the war, so that's close enough for us to include it as a prototype weapon. The 8 existing weapon variants include the Sjogren Inertial Slug Shotgun, Rebby Rolls 1918 Optical, Machine Pistol M1912 Experimental, the M1918 Patrol Carbine, the Type 38 Arasaka Patrol, the Carcano M91 Patrol Carbine, the Ross MK3 Infantry, and the M1917 Enfield Silent Sniper. So basically, we only put Assault and Scout weapons in the game since they're the only classes that anybody really uses anyways. Gnarly, dude. We basically flipped the script on the snipers to give them different scopes than those that are already in the game. Whoa, cool. Also, the 2 melee weapons are the Welsh Blade and a sickle that we could have used to cut down the hay on the map Somme, but since that's the only cover for attackers, that really wouldn't be quite fair. Also, to cut out annoyances, the 8 new variants plus the Welsh Blade are unlocked right away, with the Annihilator needing 100 kills with Assault primary weapons and 25 kills with Assault secondary weapons to unlock, while the sickle needs only 5 kills with the Welsh Blade in a round to unlock. Sick, bruh. If only we could go in and change the assignments of the other DLC weapons to not be more grueling than watching skateboard fail videos, which we actually did to patch the AA guns in single player to improve the chances of earning the Airborne Cannons Codex. So, we could go back and add in more things for the campaign, but that's not what makes EA any money, so that's why we didn't bother padding out the single player past a few hours, even though the War Stories concept is probably the most extendable version of a Battlefield campaign to date. Total buzzkill, man. Speaking of making the endgame longer, we added 10 new soldier ranks so that now, instead of raging at level 140 shit buckets with 100 service stars on either their Automatico or Hellregal, 150 is the new hotness. Also in new features is a sweet spot indicator for the Scout class. In an effort to get those camping little dweebs to actually PTFO, the sweet spot is a range which does more damage for body shots, kind of like going out on Fat Tuesday. If you're the one being shot, you'll see different beepity bops change color like taking mushrooms. So crazy, yo. When shooting, you will see different types of focus that won't make you trip balls like when I dropped acid the other day. But this particular setting is off by default since scouts are probably already used to how things behave currently, since this game has been out for almost 18 months now, and we're finally deciding to help people with this absurdly stupid concept. We finally nerfed the heavy bomber to increase the reload time and the distribution of the cluster bomb so that this way you won't get 16 or 14 kill feeds with one drop like in Schwantz's top 5 plays that more resembles bowel movements after a Chinese buffet, completely shitting on everybody. Speaking of vehicles, we also fixed an issue where vehicle drivers would occasionally say sorry when requesting repairs, as if we here at DICE actually remember that Canadians were in World World War I. While we're in a giving mood, the French DLC, They Shall Not Pass, is now available for free for all players until May 14th, but you gotta head over to the Origin store for Master Racers, PlayStation Store, or the Microsoft Store to find the DLC, and then you could quote-unquote purchase it for free. Tubular, dude. Considering we already gave away 3 maps from this DLC, we're not really being as generous as you think. However, combined with all the new weapons that we're now finally releasing, it's actually a decent time to come back to the game if you were bored after the first month or 3. With this DLC, you can also go into an empty Fort de Vaux server in order to figure out the meaning behind the abso-fucking-lutely nothing that's behind a door that you previously couldn't get past to help out with the Easter egg community. It seems that we here at DICE put more effort into putting the community through fun little mind games than making the actual game enjoyable. That's a mind trip, man. Oh, and lastly, we noticed that players in the Oceania region were having issues getting disconnected from our servers. We updated a post recently that said that these issues were out of our control, even though one of the rationales behind having only DICE and EA official servers instead of having third-party company servers was to have more control over fixing these issues. But in reality, it's all bullshit. It's just because EA wants all of the money instead of having most of the money and having some of it being farmed out to other companies that actually have more features than the current rental server program for Battlefield 1, causing tons of clans to abandon the game en masse. Total bummer, bro.